Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. How's everybody doing today on this fine Friday? We made it to Friday. We made it. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. It is October the 4th already. This month's going by pretty quick, I feel like. But I figured we would come on and do a day live. We've been doing some day lives here lately, but I actually was going to come on this morning. There was nobody on forever. I didn't see anybody anyway. I didn't see anybody on, and I should have came maybe on this morning, but I'm here now. So we're going to go over another case. Well, same case as we were covering last night. So a new case. But let me welcome some people in and welcome in. If you're new, I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Welcome. Welcome on in. Hey, Catherine, Faith. I saw Wee Goblins in here. Shauna, hello, welcome in. It's good to see you, Jennifer. It's good to see you guys. Welcome into the chat. Hopefully you guys have your snacks, have your drinks all ready, and we'll get started. My dog's snoring behind me. It's really cute. It's kind of distracting, but it's still pretty cute. Also, throughout the live, I will put our channel membership link in there if you would like to join our membership. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get us kind of back to where we were last night. I'm going to read over an article and get us back to, what we were discussing, because this needed more than one live. Basically, last night we went over the disappearance of Jessica Barnes. She is 20 years old and she went missing on August 1st, 2024. She was later reported missing. She's married. Let me just throw that out there. She is married. She lived with two roommates that were female and her husband. She wasn't reported missing until her mother reported her missing September the 10th. And they hadn't located her until the other day on October the 1st. They found her deceased. So that's where we were. At the end of our live last night, we found another media outlet, kind of like Miss Cat and Hat, Nick the Hat, kind of like his little media company at night. We found another one of those that don't have any buttons that work. I was like, what is going on with our life? So this is going to be one of those cases that's going to have some twists and turns in it too. And best believe there are. To better, I guess, understand their relationship, I went to Facebook, and it's going to get very it's going to get crazy for a minute, but stick with me and it'll all play out, and everybody will have its own role. But let me see here. So we have the victim, of course, Jessica Barnes, her husband, who is Brandon Barnes, and their roommates are Victoria Tippett and Kendall Mims. And I think I'm saying their name right. There was a previous relationship that produced two children that Brandon already had. Then came Kendall. So before Jessica, Kendall, the roommate, was with Brandon. Then came Jessica. Kendall got pregnant. So he must have been cheating on Jessica. And then Jessica got pregnant. Then another one came and went. Then he married Jess. Kendall had her baby, but Jess lost her baby. And then Victoria entered the picture. So they're all together. I don't know if it's like what is that show called that had like the four wives? I don't know if it's like one of those deals or what, but apparently everybody was sharing Brandon. Personally, I mean, look at the guy. I'm cool, but must have had something going for him, I guess, if he had all those women. I don't know what that would be. And I don't think we're going to find out anytime soon. So let's read through this article here. It says Jessica Barnes, 20, disappeared from Pendleton, South Carolina in August. Authorities alleged her husband, Brandon Barnes, killed her on August the 2nd. The couple's roommates are accused by police of helping Brandon dispose of Jessica's body. So they've been charged. And we went through all of their the charging affidavits last night, press conference, the press releases. We went through a lot of stuff last night. Authorities in South Carolina have recovered the remains of Jessica Barnes, who was last seen in August, and arrested 3 people, her husband and 2 roommates. Barnes, 20, was last seen on August 1st before she disappeared from her Pendleton, South Carolina home, the Pendleton Police Department said in a statement in September. But that's coming from the ex, or the husband. So during their investigation, authorities located remains that were not immediately identified by nearby Pickens County. Pendleton Police said in a statement this week, a Pickens County coroner confirmed on Tuesday, October 1st, that the remains belonged to Jessica. After the remains were found, Pendleton Police, along with South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, which is SLED, conducted interviews with Barnes' husband, Brandon Barnes, and the couple's 2 roommates, Kendall Mims and Victoria Tippett, per the statement. Beautiful picture of her. Following the interviews, the 3 were charged by Pendleton Police with several offenses, including a murder charge for Brandon, per police. I wonder if her natural hair color was red, because that's very rare. Red with the green eyes, beautiful. In an arrest affidavit for Brandon, Pendleton Police alleged he used his arms to strangle Jessica to death on August 2nd in a Pendleton residence. Their Pendleton residence, actually. Police allege Brandon admitted to the killing. So yeah, he said that he used his arms to unalive her, and I'm assuming that's why when police went in there, when they were doing their investigation later on, because, they didn't know she was missing, they didn't find anything out of, everything looked like it needed to be where it was supposed to be. And that's because there wasn't any, red stuff anywhere, bodily fluids, because, he just kind of just used his hands. That's barbaric. Mims and Tippett were both charged with accessory after the fact, obstruction of justice, and misprison of a felony, per police. And misprison was doing what you can to cover something up to help someone stay out of trouble, basically. Police alleged Mims and Tippett assisted Brandon in disposing of Jessica's body. Both women allegedly confessed to the crime per their respective affidavits. So they didn't keep their mouth closed very long. They were cool until the police questioned them. Tippett is further accused of neglecting to report a crime despite allegedly witnessing the killing and having multiple opportunities to notify police. So they're putting an extra charge on for her, it looks like. She was in the room. They're saying whenever this happened. Police further allege Mims neglected to report the crime despite being told about the killing and despite having multiple opportunities to notify police. And there's her missing flyer. We went over that last night. Jessica was reported missing by her mother, Cecilia, in September. How do you say her last name? Varvera? Pendleton Police said in their previous statement. Pendleton Police Chief Robert Crosby confirmed to People that Varvera has claimed on several occasions that she received text messages from an account under Jessica's name after her disappearance, but didn't believe them to be from her daughter. And I'm really curious as to what those messages said. Because her mom came out and did a press conference with the sheriff, and it was a little wasn't really a normal press conference. I don't really know how to explain that press conference. It was just a little different. On September, where were we at? Okay, on September 20th, police conducted a search of the residence where Brandon and Jessica lived with their roommates, Mims and Tippett. Pendleton Police seized clues, articles of clothing, electronic devices from the residence, Crosby told police at the time. Their investigation further led police to the couple's roommate's car at a location frequented by both Jessica and Brandon Barnes, with phone records allegedly showing Brandon drove the vehicle to the location. It wasn't immediately clear which roommate's car police traced. It's not immediately clear if any of the suspects have entered pleas. And we're going to go over their bond hearing actually in a minute. A GoFundMe has been set up for Jessica's family, to assist Jessica's family. And the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to contact Pendleton Police at 864-646-9409. But what was this? Okay. I wanted to show you guys this last night, but we didn't get around to it. So Law and Crime last night, they put out a video. It's like 14 minutes long of this whole case. So I figured we'd watch it, and it goes over everything. It goes over her when she went missing up until when she's discovered, and the roommates and all of that. Like I had said before, this is Jessica Barnes. She went missing on August the 1st. She was reported missing on September the 10th. So that's a lot of time to go by before she was actually officially reported missing. But once she was reported missing, then that's when, it got the ball rolling, and she was found on October 1st. Her death was caused by asphyxiation, by strangulation. And Brandon is accused of doing that with his arms. And then if you want to go even a step further, then recruiting the roommates to, help hide her body in a different county.
And
thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Was full of life. She believed in Jesus and God, and she loved God with all of her heart. And now she's with Jesus.
The search for a 20-year-old woman missing from her South Carolina home since August ends sadly with her remains being found. Now Jessica Barnes' husband is accused of murdering her, and their roommates also face charges. A reporter covering the case on the ground is here with the very latest. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Jessica Barnes' family is in mourning. The 20-year-old was missing, and her mother had hoped that she would be found alive. Barnes had been missing since August 1st, but it wasn't until September 10th that her mother reported her missing. Barnes lived in Pendleton, South Carolina with her husband, Brandon Barnes, and 2 female roommates. Pendleton is south of Clemson. Police said Jessica was last seen at her home by her husband, Brandon, and those 2 roommates on August 1st. And Jessica's mom has said she didn't report her missing until October 10th because she didn't know she was missing. It apparently wasn't unusual that they wouldn't have contact for a time. And Jen Wood from Fitz News is going to be here soon to give us more information about that and why that was. But when Jessica's mom didn't hear from her on her birthday, she became concerned. You might be wondering, why didn't Jessica's husband or roommates report her missing? Jessica's husband told Blunt Force Media in an interview that he thought she left and would come back. It almost sounded like he was suggesting she might have harmed herself. The site quoted Brandon as saying, "I would tell her how much I love her and wish I never went to work every day and ignored her. I ignored her voice, told her she was fine when I knew she wasn't. I was young and stupid. I was always focused on getting more money and more work." The site said Brandon added, "We never felt like we had hope in life. Always felt down, depressed, miserable, alone, seeking for help, hiding from help, never accepting it when it came. Childhood trauma, being abused as a kid, blaming people for things we regret or done." Blunt Force.
Well, I mean, that letter, it was all about me, I. If you remember, we read that last night.
Media also posted a letter that Brandon Barnes.
Did Anjanette Levy lose like a little bit of weight?
Said Jessica wrote to him on July 4th that he said he found in a Bible. The letter said, "We have been through so much in the first year of our life together, and I am so grateful that I met you. I love you so much, baby. Thank you for sticking by my side and letting me in. It's hard to love me, but we had a son and got married. Best choice I ever made, by the way. We even went through a stillbirth and came out the other side stronger and more motivated, knowing we can stick together through anything. God put you in my life for a reason, and I will never let you go. I plan on writing these letters, 10 of them, for the first 10 years of our beautiful life together. I could never picture starting a life with anyone else. You are my rock, and I love you so much. I am so blessed to be your wife. A year ago today, I asked you to be mine, and I am so happy you love me through all of my imperfections and flaws. You call me beautiful when you know I feel low and hold me tight in my sleep. You are the best thing that ever happened to me, and I won't let you slip away. Later in the letter,
Huh. So she kind of like, okay, she pursued him. So we can't say, he pursued her because like, I mean, he's already dating like 2 other women with the roommates and her.
it says that Brandon was supposed to read it in 10 years on his 31st birthday. Now police say Brandon Barnes has confessed to murdering Jessica. The police chief said they found...
Why would you give someone hold on a second. What did that note say? To read in 10 years. Hold on just a dang second here. Because they talk about the baby. Okay, so I'm going to read this because I want everyone to think of this like he's not allowed to read this until 10 years from now. Why? But it says, we have been through so much in the first year of our life together, because remember, she's only been over in this country for 2 years. And I am so grateful. I believe they came from another country. They're at least new to the area, but I thought her mom said another country last night. I am so grateful that I met you. I love you so much, baby. Thank you for sticking by my side and letting me in. It's hard to love me, but we had a son and got married. Best choice I ever made, by the way. We even went through a stillbirth and came out the other side stronger and more motivated, knowing we could stick together through anything. God put you in my life for a reason, and I will never let you go. I plan on writing these letters, 10 of them, for the first 10 years of our beautiful life together. I could never picture starting a life with anyone else. You are my rock, and I love you so much. I am so blessed to be your wife. A year ago today, I asked you to be mine, and I am so happy you love me through all my imperfections and flaws. Like, I don't like when people say that stuff about themselves. Like, why does she think she has imperfections and flaws? Like, her man should be telling her she don't. You call me beautiful when you know I feel low and hold me tight in my sleep. You are the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I won't let you slip away. Okay.
Happened to me, and I won't let you slip away. Later in the letter, it says that Brandon was supposed to read it in 10 years on his 31st birthday. Now police say Brandon Barnes has confessed to murdering Jessica. The police chief said they found Jessica's remains at the Twin Lakes recreational area.
Pendleton officers and agents from SLED, as well as assistants from the Clemson University Police Department and Pickens County Sheriff's Office, were able to locate a potential site in the Twin Lakes area of Pickens County along Lake Hartwell. During this search, remains were found and later identified as human. SLED agents were able to collect forensic samples, and the SLED laboratory continues to process these samples at this time. The Pickens County coroner was called to assist and provide recovery, assistance, and autopsy services in conjunction with the Anderson County Coroner's Office. Also, a forensic anthropologist from Clemson University helped identify the remains as human. On October 1st, Pendleton officers and the Pickens County coroner were notified by a forensic odontologist that the remains were identified as Jessica Barnes. A forensic odontologist is...
Did he say recovered? Like they went in and recovered? It was like 20 seconds beforehand, but it almost sounded like maybe she was in the lake.
Is someone that studies bones, specifically teeth, jaw structure, things like that.
An affidavit says defendant Brandon Richard Barnes did with malice aforethought cause the death of victim Jessica Barnes by using his arms to strangle her to death. The defendant admits to the murder after being advised of Miranda. One of the roommates, Victoria Tippett, is charged as an accessory after the fact. An affidavit says Tippett obstructed justice in that she did fail to report the murder of victim Jessica Barnes to law enforcement. The defendant did admit to disposing of the victim's body to obstruct justice of murder by defendant Barnes. And finally, Kendall Mims faces a charge of accessory after the fact to murder. She is accused of helping to move Barnes's body and not telling law enforcement about the murder despite having opportunities to do so. The murder of Jessica Barnes is tragic. Someone she loved and trusted is accused of taking her life. And cases like hers show you how important it is to stay safe and to check out the people in your life. Truthfinder.com numbers. Murder charge, Truthfinder to check out Justin.
She believed in Jesus and God, and she loved God with all of her heart. And now she's with Jesus. And we're all sad, but we know that she's better over there than in here. She's not with her abuser anymore, and she's in heaven with Jesus. And I thank God and everybody who helped her find it. And I want to thank everybody who prays for us and for the family and for the siblings. And I'm gonna continue to be a voice for Jessica and to spread like awareness for her and for the horrible thing that happened to her.
Jen Wood is a researcher at Fitz News, and she's been covering this case from the beginning. Jen, first of all, take me inside the courtroom yesterday. What was it like when these three people appeared in court?
You know, it was really, it was sad. They're so young. They didn't show a lot of emotion. And, you know, it was really interesting seeing the three of them, you know, brought in just to find out if they were going to get bond. I mean, we had a good clue that Brandon Barnes wouldn't be getting bond just based on the charge. But the other two, Victoria Tippett and Kendall Mims, we weren't entirely certain if they would be given a bond. They didn't show any emotion, though. It was interesting.
It's kind of stunning to me that these two young women, and we don't know what happened other than the police are saying in the affidavit that Brandon Barnes, after he was read his rights, confessed to strangling Jessica with his arms. I mean, it sounds horrific. Strangling is a horrific, any way to die is horrific, but this is just awful. And then, you know, the young women are accused of covering this up sort of and helping him dispose of her body. I just can't even imagine them doing this and why they would do this. So
I'm wondering the same thing. I mean, did he have some sort of like, because, okay, so I've been thinking about this. They've been talking a lot about, the mom had mentioned it, about, you know, loves God and God-fearing, like, you know, woman or whatever. And then I heard somewhere about this case that like there was a mention of a Bible study. I'm almost wondering if old Brandon wasn't trying to be some sort of like take this some sort of like spiritual route, you know, with the multiple wives and then living together. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. But I'm getting that feeling.
You're talking to me about them showing no emotion. Do we know anything about the relationship between Mims and Tibbetts and Barnes? I mean, were they closer to him, or what do we know about
They're
that?
lovers.
You know, the three of them were all living together, and it's a dynamic that I've never heard of before. But Kendall Mims and Brandon had a infant daughter together, and according to her mother, the daughter, Jessica primarily took care of the daughter when she was alive. Even though she was married to Brandon. It's a very bizarre dynamic, but they were all living together in this little pool house. And sounds like they were all dating Brandon. It's very bizarre, but Jessica's mom said that he was very controlling of Jessica. He would cut off her contact from her family. Her sisters weren't able to get a hold of her. And I spoke to Brandon's ex-girlfriend who has 2 children with him, and they split up after he assaulted her in Maine, and she got a restraining order. And he said, she told me that he had done the same thing to her, like cut off her communication with family,
Oh,
moved her
man.
to another state, just very controlling behavior.
Yeah, it's very concerning.
Wow.
And from what I read, she said that he was abusive.
Mhm.
So it's very, whatever was going on in that house is very concerning, to say the least. It's concerning to me as well that she disappears on August 1st, August 2nd, from what the police say. She's not reported till September 10th. Mom says, look, I wouldn't be in touch with her sometimes. And it sounds like part of the reason is because she was cut off from family. So mom reports her missing. A massive search is launched. And now we have this really horribly sad outcome that they said that Jessica was murdered. So talk to me about what it was like down there in South Carolina to be involved in this case, because, sitting from where I am watching it, people were really concerned, and they were hoping she would be found alive. And it was getting a lot of attention down there.
Yeah. So, I mean, her mother said that, it wouldn't be uncommon for her to not hear from Jessica for some time, but the end of August was her birthday, and she would typically hear from her on her birthday, and she didn't. And that's when she started really getting concerned. And by September 10th, she decided to report her as missing. She said she had received text from Jessica's phone, but didn't feel like they were actually Jessica texting. And when they started searching for her, the stories that Barnes and Kendall and Victoria were giving police were varied. They would tell police one thing, they would tell the neighbor, I think they told police that Jessica would occasionally leave and she was probably in Michigan with family, and they told the neighbor that she had gone to Romania to stay with her father, but she didn't have a valid passport. So it just the stories weren't adding up, which was adding to the concern in the community.
Whole bunch of different stories, like an
They
idiot.
talked about, the police chief at the press conference,
I'm glad
that they
told
found
for them.
remains of Jessica's in, this Twin Lakes recreational area in Pickens County. Do you know anything about this area? And I'm kind of gathering potentially that they were led to this area maybe based on cell phone records. I don't know. Maybe they got a tip. What are you hearing?
So I'm hearing that GPS data is what led them to that specific area. I'm not entirely sure, if it was from phones or, another device, but that's, I believe, how they located that specific area. It is, up there are a lot of lakes. And I think there are a lot of areas where, kids go to hang out. And this was one of them, very remote. And I think when they did the search on September,
Reminded me of the spot that Kylie Rodney and them, where they were partying the night that she died.
20th, they searched the pool house where they were living in and Kendall's grandfather's property and
That's
that
what it
spot. And I
is.
think that's when they found the
Kendall's grandfather's property is, because remember I said something about the house up front. I was like, whose house is that? If they live in the pool house. So I was just typing that in really quick so I don't forget.
remains, but they had to do forensic identification.
So they found the remains, you think, on September 20th. So it took some time
Wow.
for them to go through that process.
So 10 days after
Wow.
It did.
it took them 10 days. Within 10 days, they knew where she was.
How very sad. So, Brandon Barnes is not getting out of jail anytime soon. The police say he confessed to this crime. The other 2 are not getting out either. Right now, it doesn't appear. So is there any indication that either one of them are cooperating at this point, the 2 young women?
From what I was told, it does not appear that they are cooperating right now. Whether or not that changes once they have representation, I'm not sure. But they, for a very long time, were going along with Brandon's stories.
What a terribly sad story. And I think our hearts all go out to Jessica's family. A sad case, and we will certainly keep an eye on it as it moves forward.
Very sad case. So you might be asking yourself, could bigamy charges be added? We're gonna get that answer right now. We're gonna get the answer, and then we're gonna watch the bond hearing of these three fools. But this is in a brief from Wednesday afternoon. Bond was denied. So spoiler alert. Bond was denied for all three suspects arrested in connection with the brutal murder of 20-year-old Jessica Barnes in South Carolina. Jessica's husband, 21-year-old Brandon Barnes of Pendleton, South Carolina, was charged with murder, while Victoria Tippett, and Kendall Mims, both 20 years old, have been charged with accessory after the fact, obstruction of justice, and misprison of a felony. Additional charges could be forthcoming. According to the probable cause affidavit accompanying the warrant for Barnes' arrest, he is accused of using his arms to strangle his wife to death at a pool house in Pendleton on August 2nd, 2024, the day after she was last seen alive. Tippett and Mims were living with Jessica in the pool house, which is owned by Mims' grandfather. According to police, Barnes subsequently joined Tippett and Mims in disposing of Jessica's remains in the Twin Lakes region of Pickens County. Jessica was reported missing by her mother on September the 10th, 2024, after not hearing from her in over a month. An investigation into her disappearance was initiated by the Pendleton Police Department. According to a press release issued by Pendleton Police Chief Robert Crosby, details regarding her disappearance were vague, which led the small department to request the assistance of the South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division, which is SLED, on September 16th. The pool house where Jessica was allegedly killed was subsequently searched by police on September 20th, 2024, in connection with Jessica's disappearance. Jessica's remains were reportedly discovered in a wooded area near the Twin Lakes boat ramp, just 4 miles southwest of the home where Barnes allegedly murdered her. I'm surprised that nobody found her before. With the weather still being pretty nice, people probably take their boats and stuff still out, you would think. There has been much speculation about the relationship between Barnes and the three women who lived with him in the same small pool house where Jessica was murdered. Mims, who has an infant daughter with Barnes, has been described as a roommate, but according to records from the Anderson County Probate Court, the two obtained a marriage license on July 31st, 2023. He'd be marrying everybody. Be marrying you. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. There's a picture there. Let me get this for you. This is a picture of all three of them. So this is the dude. That's him. Man, you'll see him in the flash in a minute. He's something else, let me tell you. So marriage license, huh? Okay. So in North Carolina, you got a marriage license. Or no, that's birthplace. I was like, what? Okay, so that's birthplace. Jessica's mom, Cecilia Vivara, said when Barnes and Jessica met online, he told her Mims, who was pregnant at the time, was his sister. What? Okay, that's new. I didn't hear that. That's weird. This is my sister, knowing that that's your former girlfriend and she's got your child in her. Okay, that's weird. This was the same tale he told another former girlfriend who he met at work, only he told her Jessica was Mims' best friend. Julia, whose last name we are withholding at this time, told us the two began dating in August of 2023, and she had no clue he was involved with either Mims or with Jessica. had us all hang around each other, go on hikes, go to the lake, all that type of stuff, like all around each other without us even knowing. How would you not know? You don't like when you're on a hike, you're not going to touch your boyfriend's hand. You're not going to like, no one went to hold his hand all at the same time, or I don't know, anything. When Barnes brought ultrasounds of his baby with MIMS to work, Julia realized the truth and ended things in November of 2023. She said when the relationship ended, the third woman, Tippett, wasn't in the picture yet. On January 8th, 2024, Jessica and Brandon Barnes obtained a marriage license from the same Anderson probate court he had obtained one with MIMS just 5 months earlier. Unlike his marriage with MIMS, an officiant and wedding date is listed, January 28th, 2024. According to Varvera, her daughter was unaware of his marriage license with MIMS. Man, I would be arrested if I was her. Chief Crosby confirmed today that MIMS and Barnes were never divorced. When asked if the two would face bigamy charges, he said after consultation with the 10th Circuit Solicitor's Office, at this time they did not plan to pursue such a charge due to the weight of the other charges the two are facing. In addition to receiving assistance from SLED, Pendleton Police were also aided by a forensic anthropologist from Clemson University who helped identify Jessica's remains as human. On Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, a forensic odontologist or a scientist who studies teeth identified the remains found in the wooded area along the boat ramp as belonging to Jessica. Barnes, Tippett, and MIMS are being held at the Anderson County Detention Center. Their initial hearing has been scheduled for December 3rd, 2024 at 9:30 at the Anderson County Courthouse. What's this? Nothing? Nope, nothing. Okay. So I'm just going to show you the bond hearing now of these three freaking crazy people. Like, I don't understand why people do this kind of stuff. I mean, what was, I want to know why. That's my question. Why? Because, I mean, that's one thing that hasn't been answered yet. But how could you convince two other people, other than the only thing I could think of is their age, and that's why they were so easily, not just their, their age, but like mentally, they must have been stunted or something. To let a man convince you and another girl to help him get rid of a body. Nope. Don't think so. Kind of loud there.
All right, sir, I'm Judge White. Tell me your name.
And I've never seen them do it like this before, where they walk them up just like to the jail right here. Usually you go in, you sit down, you're on TV, but this is a little different.
Brandon Barnes.
Full name?
Brandon Richard Barnes.
All right. I'll make you aware that we have Troy
That's the guy. That's the guy,
Stiles, who's representing the family of the victim, Merrill Harbin, victim's advocate with the sheriff's office, as well as the news present. You've got a charge for murder, which does carry up to life in jail or the death penalty if you're found guilty, or if you're found guilty or plead guilty. And your initial appearance date is going to be December 3rd at 9:30 at the Anderson County Courthouse. You are required to appear. If you miss any court dates, they can issue a general sessions warrant. If you're picked up on that, you can be held until a trial. You have the right to have an attorney present going forward. If you can't afford one, you can request the public defender's office represent you. You also have the right to plead not guilty and request a jury trial on your court date. Within the next 10 days, you have the right to request a preliminary hearing. It's a hearing before a judge who would hear the state's evidence to determine if it was sufficient to issue the charge. To request that hearing, it has to be done by you within the next 10 days. You'll be given that form when we're done. Any questions about the preliminary hearing?
When's the court again?
Do what now?
When's the court date?
The court date's going to be and it's just an initial appearance, is December 3rd. That's just your initial roll call date. Okay. And that'll be on your paperwork as well. They'll give you another court date after that to keep up with as far as appearances are concerned. Okay. Mr. Stiles, you'll have to speak a little bit loud.
We can't hear you.
Room that she entered. Jessica had ambition. She had dreams, and her soul was a constant witness to others through her faith.
I'm just going to stop it here for a minute. This is the guy that owns the media agency. The where the heck did I put it? The Blunt Force. What was it? Blunt Force. I don't know why I can't find it now, but I'll find it. Okay, let me go back to the play this for you.
Faith. We are profoundly thankful for the dedication of all agencies involved in this case, especially the tireless work of Chief Robert Crosby of the Pendleton Police Department, who devoted himself to finding the answers that we have shared today. With heavy hearts, we humbly return Jessica into the hands of Jesus, where we know she is now safe from her abuser. Her spirit is renewed, and she is enveloped in the love she longed for so deeply while she was here with us on this earth. We hope this serves as a message to domestic violence victims everywhere. Please reach out for help. Jessica was strong, but piece by piece, her strength was stripped away. We kindly ask for continued privacy in the coming days as we fully commit ourselves to being Jessica's voice. We will seek justice for her as her own voice has been diminished.
Oh. Normally they don't have normally they don't let the people speak like that. Like, what is this is a weird bond hearing. I ain't never seen this.
On your court day to enter a plea. You are going to be ordered to have no contact with the victim's family in any way. If you violate that, this bond can be revoked, as well as you can face additional charges. Now, the charge of murder is a non-bondable offense by a magistrate judge.
He makes me angry. His face makes me angry. I wish I could have been Jessica's little voice. He makes me angry.
So you'll be held here at the detention center, and a circuit court judge will determine whether bond's appropriate at a later date.
Look at his eyebrows, like
on
he's
anything I've gone over?
scouring them.
No, but my ring's been missing since suicide box. It's not in my.
That's something the detention center will address.
Which wedding ring? He's missing his ring. I don't think that Jessica would want you to be wearing any wedding ring from her. Just saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure she would say no.
All right, if you will step over here, they'll have you sign the paperwork that we've gone over. Thank you.
Bye, Brandon. See you in December. You freaking weirdo. I hope they don't find that wedding band. I hope they don't find that wedding band. He doesn't deserve it. I'm just going to say it. He said he did it. Can I get my wedding ring, from the girl that is dead right now? Yeah, that was my wife. Like, I mean, I don't understand people. Cheryl, he unalived someone. What do you mean, poor kids? Poor Jessica. This one's... Them three better get comfortable. Oh my gosh, just hurry up and sign your paperwork. I think that's what I'm having them do. There he goes. Bye. Look, he's trying to look. Oh my bejeezies. He's trying to look at whoever's over there, whichever girl, his boo thing, he's trying to get a look at her. Because he wouldn't be walking and looking back like that. What would he be looking at?
All right, come right here.
What do we have
Tell me your
here?
Victoria Tippett.
Where's the rest of you? Where's the rest of her? She looks like a baby. She's 20 years old. 2 years out of adulthood. I mean, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. She looks so young to me. Maybe I'm getting old. Hey, PJs.
All right, Ms. Tippett, I'm Judge White. I'll make you aware that Merrill Harbin with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, Troy Stiles, the family representative for Ms. Barnes, as in the news, are present. Now, you've got 3 charges.
Yes, sir.
The first is for accessory after the fact of murder, which carries up to 15 years in jail if you plead guilty or if you're found guilty. Misprison of a felony, and obstructing justice. Both of those, the fine's going to be up to the court to determine at what's appropriate if you're found guilty or if you plead guilty. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The initial court date is December 3rd at 9:30, and that's at the Anderson County Courthouse. You are required to appear. If you miss any hearings, they can issue a general sessions warrant. If you're picked up on that, you can be held until a hearing is had. You also have the right to have an attorney present. If you can't afford one, you can request the public defender's office represent you. You also have the right to plead not guilty on your court date and request a jury trial. Within the next 10 days, you have the right to request a preliminary hearing on these charges. That's a hearing before another judge who would hear the state's evidence.
She's the one that witnessed the unaliving happen. Now, only giving her a little credit here because maybe she could have been scared after seeing what he did to the other girl, to Jessica, but I don't know.
To determine if it was sufficient to issue these charges. To request that, it has to be done by you, and you'll be given a form to complete when we're done. Do you have any questions about the preliminary hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Stiles, I understand you. On these charges, based on them, I'm going to deny your bond on all 3 charges. You'll be held here at the detention center. A judge with the circuit court will determine whether bond's appropriate at a later date. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you can step over there. They're going to have you sign the paperwork of everything we've just gone over. Thank you.
Okay. I don't think anything happens during this. Pretty sure. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure that this door right here is supposed to be closed before he opens that next door. I'm not telling him how to do his job, but I'm just thinking that's how it's supposed to go. There's Kendall,
All right, I'm Judge White.
their
State
baby
your full name.
mama.
Kendall Faith Mims.
This is the baby's mom.
All right, Ms. Mims. I'll make you aware that Merrill Harbin with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, Troy Stiles, a representative for Ms. Barnes' family, as well as the news are present. You've got 3 charges. First is for accessory after the fact of murder, which carries up to 15 years in jail if you plead guilty or if you're found guilty. You have misprision of a felony and obstruction of justice. Both of those carry a fine that's going to be determined by the court at a later date at their discretion if you're found guilty or if you plead guilty. Your initial court date's December 3rd at 9:30 at the Anderson County Courthouse. That's for your initial appearance. If you fail to appear there, they can issue a general sessions warrant. If you're picked up on that, you can be held until the trial is had. You also have the right to have an attorney present represent you going forward. If you can't afford one, you can request the public defender's office represent you. You have the right to plead not guilty on your court date and request a jury trial. Within the next 10 days, you have the right to request a preliminary hearing on these charges. It's a hearing before a judge who would hear the state's evidence to determine if it was sufficient to issue the charges. To request it, it has to be done by you, and you'll be given that form when we're done. Do you have any questions about the preliminary hearing? Okay. Mr. Stiles, I understand you have a statement you want to make on behalf of the family.
We're We are deeply saddened to share that Jessica is no longer with us. In her 20 years, she lit up every room that she entered. Jessica had ambition. She had dreams, and her soul was a constant witness to others through her faith. We are profoundly thankful for the dedication of all of the agencies involved in this case, especially the tireless work of Chief Robert Crosby of the Pendleton Police Department, who devoted himself to finding the answers we have shared today. With heavy hearts, we humbly return Jessica into the hands of Jesus, where we know she is now safe from her abuser. Her spirit is renewed, and she is enveloped in the love she so longed for while she was here with us on this earth. We hope this serves as a message to domestic violence victims everywhere. Please reach out for help. Jessica was strong, but piece by piece, her strength was stripped away. We kindly ask for continued privacy in the coming days as we fully commit ourselves to Jessica's voice. We will seek justice for her as her own voice has now been diminished.
Ms. Mims, this hearing is being recorded and can be used later against you in court, but do you have any statements you want to make or anything else you need me to know before I discuss your bond? Okay. Based on the charges, your bond will be denied on all 3 charges. You'll be held here at the detention center pending a bond hearing before a circuit court judge at a later date, and where they'll determine whether bond's appropriate at that time. Do you have any questions? You also have to have no contact with the victim's family in any way going forward. Okay.
They ain't got nothing to
You'll
say.
Step over there. They'll have you sign some documents that we've gone over. Thank you.
Do you think she could have been the one that orchestrated this whole thing? She looks like she could. I mean, I don't know. She didn't look like she was that sad because her face would have got really, really, really red, I feel like, because she's got that fair complexion on her. Let's see. I don't know what happens after this. Nothing?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I think it was shorter than I thought. Okay, so riddle me this one. I don't know, and I don't know why this is a question, a sincere question. Why was Victoria dressed in street clothes, but Kendall and Brandon were both in their jail garb? And then they took her out a side door, and they're taking this girl the same way as Brandon. Look at that. Clean that mirror off that. Look at that. Something's running down the damn mirror. I wonder if, yeah, this is weird. And the guy that was speaking, just be careful who you're around, whenever you have when something happens, the people that come into your life, because this is his webpage here. This is his website. And we were going through these last night. The shop works, of course, frequently asked questions did contact us. We couldn't do that though. We couldn't go to their Twitter or anything. What was that? That took me somewhere. Oh yeah. Takes me here. I don't know what this is, but it's like, oh my gosh, what the hell is this? I shouldn't have even clicked into that. Why is this talking about? This is weird. I don't know. Yeah, their buttons don't work. Their buttons do not work. You can't go to their Instagram, their Facebook. What else were we at? Media representation. We were going to other things that it wasn't letting us click on neither. Oh, this guy, let's hear him. Oh yeah, we can't hear him. Can't hear him. He doesn't talk. I don't know. You can't hear him talking. Let me see if I can get help. Report tips and information for what? Yeah, I'll go to Crime Stoppers, but report tips, links, other. Corrections and content revision. Look at this. This is the daily fake news. There we go. That's exactly right. That's what it looks like. Because this is the only case they have too. Like, didn't we like try to look for her? Yeah, we did. And this is what it brings up. So just what we were like talking about. Only on October 2nd did they start putting stuff up. And that's the only day they put anything up for her. But now the guy is standing with the mom at press conferences, and now he's at the jail. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a little funny. It's a little weird. I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't trust people ever since Sebastian's case with Nick the Hat. It's like I don't know. They're like the same website, but like different. Like they both have buttons that don't work, and they both give me the ick. Yeah, I think she might be snitching. I think she might be telling something. Because they all have the same charges though. Still. So I don't know if they've changed. I don't think they have. But I'll be sure to keep my eye out. Let me see. There was nothing today when I looked. Oh, Pendleton also, it only has 3,589 people in there. That's a small town. So I could see Brandon's mom working for the jail or something. Yeah, for sure. Let's see what this is. Okay, we'll have to look at that later. I think that's all I really had to show you guys. Let me see if there's anything else new on our YouTube or Facebook, I mean. And I'll be back on tonight. I don't know what we're going to cover tonight. I might cover something maybe even on the second channel later. I have to find out who these. I have to dig in a little deeper. Okay, yeah, we'll have to go through her Facebook sometime. I don't think there's anything on Twitter. I'll check. Oh, I was going to show you guys something funny. This was really cute I saw today. And I don't know. We just don't really have a whole lot of funny stuff around here, so I'm going to show you something. Let me go to my profile. I don't know when this is from, but I don't know if this is from after the hurricane, during hurricane in another state. I don't know, but I just thought it was a cute video, whatever it is. So let me pull it up for you guys. Because this is something my brother would do. Not me so much as my brother. Let me find there we go. Watch this video. It's really cute. It's like a minute long.
Where?
So basically, this guy is told that his dog was seen in a field and to go get him. Like, go get your dog.
And look who I find him with. He's got another dog with him. But oh wait, he's got a goat in tow.
He's got a goat with him, the dog.
And look,
He said, just make yourself at home. I thought it was cute. My brother totally came to my house one night and had a goat in his minivan with hay in there. He took out the seats, had hay laid down, and had a goat in there. And it was kicking the inside of his car. Oh, it was shaking. It was bad. I was like, I don't know why you would ever do this, but he needed to transport it, and he didn't. He didn't have like a regular, I guess, a farm animal / tractor, transport or whatever they're called, like a trailer. So it was little. It was like a real little goat. So he pat it in the back because my niece's goat had died. My brother had like tried to do everything to save this goat and it died. And she was like 3. And he didn't want to have that talk with her like about death. Like she was 3 years old. He's like, he wasn't ready yet. So he went and bought her the same exact goat. Same color, same markings, so she wouldn't know the difference. She's 15 at this point, 16 almost. She probably doesn't even know that. Don't be listening to this channel. I don't want you to ever know that. I thought that was cute. I saw that today on Twitter. I was like, oh my gosh, 2 dogs and a goat. That does sound like something I would do. I wouldn't do the goat because I think goats are cool, but they're like, oh wait, I'm not good with farm animals. Thank you, Cheryl, for gifting memberships. Look at that. Bring all the new peoples in. CJK got one. Jennifer, Patricia. Make sure you tell Cheryl, thank you. Niece and Rick's are in. My brother had a little goat family at one point. They were cute. They were real cute. Like, I mean, as a little family, not the dad though. The dad was all black and it had a black tongue and black horns. Oh, I didn't like that one. It just was spooky. It was spooky looking. My brother had horses and everything at one point. He was the farm animal kind of guy, and I was I'm a domesticated kind of, animal kind of gal, like cat, dog. That's it. I wouldn't even do a bird. I mean, not that I don't like birds. I just wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I don't know if I'll ever do another cat. Maybe just this one I have. 'Cause he's my best friend. The dogs are sleeping really cute right now. You should see them. Oh, I don't know how they both got a bed. The cat's been taking over. But I think that I know Nancy Grace came out with an episode on Idaho 4, Brian Kohlberger and his court attire. We can always go over that tonight. I don't know if it's out on YouTube yet. It will be tonight though by the time we go live. But it's on her podcast. That's where I saw it yesterday. Let's see if there's any court documents out for him. See if there's any decisions made on anything. Takes forever to get to the bottom of his. Okay. We've got, 10-2. Wait, order temporary. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it just says this court directs current defense counsel that they shall remain counsel for the record. Okay, yeah, so we knew that. So, an ex parte hearing is going to be held on Tuesday, October 8th. And it's just it's going to talk about like the state's cost. So yeah, nothing really. Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing important. I thought they were going to have something new, but they didn't. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. But I'm going to jump off of here. I will be back on later this evening with a live. Yeah, we'll think of something to talk about. Maybe we'll just talk about whatever, have you guys heard about Garth Brooks? If this is true about Garth Brooks, I quit. I quit at life and I'm never listening to a song again. Love Garth Brooks. Was just watching a video of him the other day. It was somebody like doing one of his songs, like a cover of his song. So, well, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But I'll be. You were shocked too, Shelly? Yeah, I'm like, oh. Thanks, Aries. You too. I mean, I love me some Garth Brooks. Like, he was my favorite when I used to listen to some country music, y'all. Like, woo, your girl knows some country, but I'll cry if I listen to country nowadays. It's just so sad. Like 90s country is the only country I like, and it's sad. So, but thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share button on the way out, and I'll see you later on this evening. Bye, guys.